watching you, some of the things you're doing this year, you were doing last year, but some of the guys on the other end maybe weren't. Have you seen kind of some more from the receivers and stuff that allowed you to do some things that maybe you guys weren't able to complete last year?
No, I've had complete trust in them over the past couple of years, and they're guys that have stepped up huge, and they just make plays. So we go out there and we know that we're going to get some guys that make plays out there. So I wouldn't say it's anything different from last year. It's just we're executing better.
You're no stranger to facing Stanford. What are the characteristics that you've seen year in, year out for their defense?
Yeah, they're really well coached. They play a really aggressive defense, and really well coached. They fly around, and they've got some really athletic guys on defense, so they're a task for sure.
How will Juwan change what you guys are able to do when he's able to play?
He'd be huge. He'd be another guy you could throw out there and make plays, and we've got a few out there right now, and I really like the way they're playing, but adding him would be huge as well.
Marcus has kind of said the last couple weeks about turning some of the depth receivers a little bit more loose, giving them some more opportunities, give you some more downfield looks at that point. Do you think they've kind of built up a little bit of a trust with you over the last couple weeks that maybe you guys might not have had that rapport in the preseason because they were so low on the chart?
Personally, I've trusted them for the past couple of years, and that's kind of something that we've talked about. And they've just stepped up big time, and they make plays, and it's a great group of guys, and they push each other, and they want to be great. So I think that's the best part.
Shane said one of the things that he loves so much about Panay is just watching him block an open space on screens. I mean, you guys have some really great tackles here that work well in space. How easy is it for you to know that whenever you're going kind of east-west like that, you know that you got blockers that can get out?
Yeah, we got some pretty fast receivers, but we got some pretty fast tackles too. Panay, he's a freak of nature, and when we see him running and pulling, it's something to watch for sure.
Does it change anything you do depending on who's at center? I mean, if Calvin's there, is there a different cadence you go? Anything change in terms of getting him instead of Jake, or if Jake's out there?
No, it'd be nice to have both Jake and Calvin out there, but Calvin steps in, and he's done such a great job at center. There's no drop off in snaps, and that's something him and I are both comfortable at, and would miss Jake for sure, but they're both great guys.
Is there anything that jumps at you on film watching these last 2 weeks? I mean, say you guys and the receivers have been so on and kind of for 2 weeks in a row now. Do you look and see anything you guys are doing that is working better than maybe it has in the past?
I think we have more RPO answers. I think when we get more men in the box, we've got more answers outside and kind of able to play off what the defense is giving us.
So are you able to read that more because you've seen kind of what the defense is doing?
Mm-hmm. Is it kind of hitting you at all that you're starting to roll through some last year, like last Pac-12 opener is now kind of coming up on the list as you roll through the season?
Yeah, I haven't thought too much about that. I think we've been so busy with football and everything going on that we're kind of just focused on game at a time, and there'll be plenty of time later to kind of reminisce and think about what happened.
So I'd say absolutely, Justin, but obviously had a lot of success against them last year, passing in regulation in particular was probably your best performance. But Debo is one of the better corners in the league. What kind of challenges do you present? You had success against them, but clearly they know what you bring to the table as well. So what is the challenge of facing him as a corner?
Yeah, we kind of talked about it. They're a really well coached team. They fly around, and they've got some really athletic guys that make plays, and it's just something that we have to be sharp, and we have to know exactly what we're doing and be on the same page. So communication will be big.
We got the news about Cam yesterday. What's the feeling like in the locker room? How does it change the outlook going forward?
It's tough for him. We're all behind him, and he's a special player, and it's unfortunate that he hasn't been able to play. We've got his back, and we'll do anything for him, but we got to find a guy to step up.
Having that kind of depth help. I mean, you lose a guy like Cam could make you really kind of wonder, but you got Breland back there and Bay and so many different guys. Can you kind of almost plug him in at this point because of the depth you have?
Yeah, exactly. It's tough losing a guy, especially such a great guy like Cam, but fortunately we've got guys waiting and guys that make plays and guys that know what they're doing, so I think that's the best part.
It's strange to the quarterback when you haven't known if Juwan's going to be there, you haven't known if Cam's going to be there. Last week your center's moving. I mean, there's so many parts around you. Do you get used to it, or do you feel at this point you've kind of been around these guys that whatever the other 10 are, you guys can have a plan?
Yeah, we've worked through that so much that we've kind of mixed our pieces around and moved guys around, and we're comfortable with throwing out anyone out there. We've practiced that so much is what I'm trying to say, that we go through the situation of this guy's down, find a replacement, play with him.
What does it do for you guys offensively when you and Jake are clicking like that, adding that other element to the offense, especially heading into Pac-12 play?
Hanson or Breland?
Breland.
Yeah, he's a great tight end. He makes so many plays and adds a whole new dimension to our offense. And he gets fired up and excited for each game, and good to have him.
Justin, these backs are really balancing the load. You don't have one guy who's really kind of that guy. They're doing it very well as a unit. What does it say about the depth you have at that position?
Yeah, it's a great problem to have so many of those guys. Each one of them can fill in, and shoot, we got 4 or 5 guys out there that have complete trust and faith in, and know that they'll get the job done.
Is it difficult to figure out the tell for Stanford's defense of where they're coming? Mario said that they're really difficult to know where their blitz is, and he said typically teams have some kind of a tell. Are they difficult to figure out?
They do a great job disguising. Kind of like I said earlier, they're really well coached, and they've been playing great defense for a long time. So they know exactly how it looks, and we just got to do our best to watch as much film as we can and see what we can do.
How much of a benefactor is it then that a lot of you guys are playing Stanford for the 4th time on offense? Does that help at all?
Yeah, it helps with film, just having film to watch and to look back on our previous games. And I would say they're just really well coached, and we have to watch as much film as we can.
Anything you're saying to some of the younger guys now heading to their first Pac-12 game that are big contributors on this team?
Just to realize that these games are really important, and to give everything you have, and don't waste any time, and just do it.